Hi, I'm Phil Hunter, and this is a video coaching response to an email I received. So in this email we have a woman who's feeling a bit discontent. She's not getting the results she wants, and she's on her journey to becoming an author, and she's just experiencing some anxiety around certain situations, and she's facing some obstacles. So let's get into her email. She says, "Hi Phil, so I'm not really sure what to expect from this, but I've been looking to find some advice and support for a while to change my life to fit me better. I saw you pop up on Facebook and figured it was a good place to start. So thank you for taking that first step and reaching out. You know, it's important to have people to talk to about these issues and to really just bring them up to the surface so that you can deal with them and figure out what's the best course of action to take. So we all go through times of discontent, we all go through times where we feel we need a change, and that's a good place to be. It means change is coming. So what I do as a coach is I help people to discover their goals and to get really clear about what it is that they actually want, and then help them with the steps to actually achieve that and get there. So 80% mindset, 20% strategy. You know, that's the way it works. So obviously 80% is the mindset, and that's the place where most people fall. So there's a process towards success, and you know, that's exactly what I teach in my success mindset program. So this is definitely something that you should consider. So she says, "My long-term goals are to earn more money, build confidence, and build my career as an author. Short term, I want to leave work and become self-employed." So that's great that you have goals that you're going after. You know, that's always the first step, and a lot of people don't allow themselves to actually have those kind of big goals. So it's great that you're going after that and chasing that. Most people will stumble at certain points about going after their goal. You know, they might have a sort of rough idea of what they want to do, but the key thing is to be able to take those goals that you have and break them down into milestone goals and then daily action steps, and there's a process around that. You might want to look into SMART goals, which is to help you to become really clear on those milestone goals to get you towards where you want to be as an author. So you have your goals of earning more money, building confidence, and to build your career as an author. So it's good that you're doing that, and if you're working on building up having a steady source of income coming in, the idea whenever you want to transition to something, whenever people start going after their dreams and you want to transition, well, the idea behind that is to, you know, have that income there that's supporting your goal or your dream and your passion, and then work on that dream and that passion until you get that up to a certain point where you're making pretty much the same money, or at least enough money to sort of break even and live on, and then you can leave that other job behind and completely focus on that passion of yours. So that's part of the process of getting there. So, you know, building up, having your goals, breaking them down into the milestone goals, taking daily action step towards that, and you know, working on your passion while you have that other income. You know, this is all things that I had to do to build Phil Hunter Coaching, my website business, Platinum website. So that's a process that I've been through, and this is stuff, you know, that I'm speaking from experience, and I've been there and I've done it. So it's possible, you know, so keep going at that. You're doing brilliant if you've got those goals and you're going after it. And one of my clients, actually, he had went through something similar to yourself. So he suffered from anxiety and depression, but yet he wanted to be a published author. And what I helped him do is I coached him in the right mindset and some of those processes towards those goals. And in the end, he ended up becoming a published author. And not just that, but because of his book that he released, it caught the attention of a training company for teachers doing CDB, and he's now doing seminars for that guy that reached out. That opportunity presented itself once he was going after his goal, and that's what you'll find will happen once you do start chasing those dreams. It's opportunities will present themselves, which is going to help you to develop yourself and get closer to where you want to be. And that's stuff that's happened in my own life as well. Whenever I made that decision to become a life coach, to become a mindset coach, once I put that out there and started becoming vocal with it and really going after it, all these opportunities started to present themselves to help me improve, whether that was doing seminars, doing talks for people, doing sort of private one-on-one coaching. All this stuff helped me to get to where I wanted to be. And that's why having that direction is so important, which you seem to have that direction. You know what you want. But my advice is, if you can become, make sure that you're really clear about what it is, and don't just say you want to make more money. It has to be specific. So how do you want to make that money? Is it through your book sales? Is it going to talks as an established publisher or an established author? Sorry. How exactly do you want to exchange your value, exchange your energy that you're putting out in return for that monetary equivalent? So the next thing is really to develop that laser-like focus, which is something I talked about in the last video response, is to be able to have that laser-like focus towards your primary goal. And I know you've got your other job there as well, but your main focus is obviously going to become an author. So that's where you need your laser-like focus, and you can still do those other things in the meantime, but have that laser-like focus towards your goal. Eliminate any type of distractions that's stopping you from getting there. That's really important, is to have the straightest distance between two places is a straight line. So the way to do that is just to cut out everything, focus all your energy where it needs to go. So Bruce Lee said, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. And he also said, what you habitually think largely determines what you will ultimately become. So another way to put that is the law of attraction. It's the ability to focus and attract what we want into our lives by the things that we focus on. The quality of your thoughts will determine the quality of your reality. So the law of attraction, that's just going to be that 80%. It's going to be part of that mindset. And this is something I've experienced through doing my own course around the universal laws, the law of attraction being just one of many. Was a lot of people relied solely on that rather than developing good strategies to get them to where they want to be as well. You need that combination of the two. If you're just going after it, if you're pure action taker and going after the strategy, trying things, and you don't have that mindset to back it up, there's going to be obstacles along your way that's going to really take you off track or not get you there as fast as you want, or you'll find you'll come up against difficulties, or sometimes you come up against fears by developing and learning the new skills that you need to get there, and then that's whenever you run into trouble. So that's why the 80% mindset is so important, but back it up with that strategy too. You need the combination of the both. So she says, so a bit of background on me. I have a long-standing anxiety condition that plays up when I'm surrounded by people all the time, which is the case in my office job. It's become unbearable, and I'm currently off sick, which is also causing pressure. I'm pretty proactive and is set to build a small business, which I'm hoping should sustain me while I complete my master's in creative writing. So that's fantastic that you have started your own business, and it's exactly what you need to do. You need to work on your job, bring in the income, which you can channel and direct towards your passion. And you've got that direction, you're moving forward, you've got that passion towards your goal. And the next thing is, it takes time and it takes patience. Two qualities that every successful person has: patience and persistence. So one of the things that I worked on with my client, which will help you as well, is working on his self-image. So the self-image comes in two forms. There's the external physical image that you see of yourself when you look in the mirror, and there's the other internal self-image of how you see and how you perceive yourself. And usually they're both related, but the most important one is that internal self-image of how you see yourself. There's a great book on this, Psycho-Cybernetics. He goes into it in great detail. Maxwell Maltz was the founder of this concept called the self-image, and it's something that's used by all life coaches, all psychologists, sports psychologists. It's used in many different fields, especially athletes. The coaches will teach you, you have to be that person that you want to be first before it actually happens. And the law of attraction terms, this is being in that vibration, and then the universe is going to attract what you want to you. So there's actually a study done on this, where they've got a group of students. There's a control group, and there's another group of students who were all sort of getting around the D grades, and they actually built their self-esteem up and their confidence and their self-image by telling them things like, you can get A's if you apply yourself. If you put that effort in, you're more than capable of doing it. What they were doing was building up their self-image, and in the end, from that study, the majority of those students, where they actually built up their self-esteem and their confidence or self-image, they actually got A's. The majority of them got A's. And another example of this, there was a study done in basketball, where there was a control group, then there was another group who were actually told that they weren't allowed to touch the basketball. All they had to do was focus on and imagining taking that free throw and scoring that point. And then there was another group who were actually practicing as well, just constantly practicing without focusing on the mindset and the self-image behind it. And that study actually showed that the group that really focused on just imagining it, taking their imagination of shooting these free throws and scoring those points from it, they were actually the ones that done the best. It's so counterintuitive to think, but your mind has this really strange way of operating. It's taking in millions of data every second, and if you can work out how to train your mind and picture things before they happen, then this will actually, you'll let the mind do the rest of the work, you'll let the brain do the work, and it will be able to make all those calculated decisions, and it'll help you to where you want to go. So the reason why this is important is because you need to have that self-image of who you want to be. And when it comes to things like your anxiety, for example, you need to imagine yourself in those situations and how you would like to be, rather than focusing on the negative, and rather really resisting those thoughts of actually going to crowded places and then thinking about your anxiety. What that's actually doing is you're focusing and concentrating on that anxiety. You're focusing, concentrating of you being really uneasy and unnerved in those kinds of situations, and you're actually attracting more of that to you. So whenever you work on your self-image, whenever you work on how you want to be, imagine things going well. Maxwell Maltz calls it the theatre of the mind, being able to picture yourself how you want to be, like you're the main character on the stage. How would you want them to act? How would you want them to behave? How would you want them to think? So the best way to really reprogram yourself is first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And the reason for this is because your brain actually changes its brainwave state once you start to sort of relax and get in that drowsy daydream state. That's whenever your subconscious is most open to receiving information. And this is why a lot of people with anxiety and depression perpetuate that cycle, because those two times are probably the worst times for them to overthink and start thinking about all the bad things, or thinking about not all those things that they wish they could do, or all those negative thoughts that cycle and repeat itself. They're actually permeating into the subconscious, and it's perpetuating that cycle. So if you want to break that cycle, those are two really effective times that you can work on your confidence, on your self-esteem. Fill yourself with affirmations, fill yourself with how you want to be, use your imagination. You can use there's a lot of videos on YouTube for self-hypnosis and confidence, and it's actually stuff that I use in my own life as well, because I understand the importance of the self-image. So I'm always using those two different times to reprogram myself and fill myself with positive affirmations about confidence, because it's always something that I've struggled with too, and it's something that I had to get over in order to become a coach as well. And I still have to work on it at times. I still have to focus on improving my confidence, especially in this role that I'm in. Whereas there's pressure on me to always feel good, to always be happy, to always be the strongest version of myself. So I make sure that I'm using those two times effectively. And this is something that clinical hypnotists use as well. Whenever they're trying to reprogram you, they'll actually get you in that same state, which is your alpha brainwave state, and that's whenever your mind's most susceptible to information. So she goes on to say, my issue is confidence. She says, I daren't hand my notice with work in because she's moving house, which is a terrible time for the anxiety to be playing up. But when it does, I can't see past it, and my only thought now is to run. So she says, I love all things law of attraction and practice it daily in my life. Only the things that I want, getting paid for writing, etc. But they just aren't coming, and I feel like I've tried everything. Well, the law of attraction is just one of many laws. There's other laws in play, and it's actually a secondary law. The primary law being the law of vibration. That's whenever you can put yourself in a good mood, in a good state, whenever you're feeling confident, you're going to attract more good things to you. But it's just one of many laws. So the universe has a funny way of presenting us with the same problems over and over again until we actually learn how to deal with it. It somehow knows what we have to do and what we need in order to grow. So your anxiety in these situations, it's actually a good thing, because it's highlighting something that you need to improve on in order to develop yourself and unlock more of your potential and become the person that you need to be. So one of the other laws is the law of non-resistance. So the law of non-resistance basically says that whatever we resist persists. So the first thing to do about your situation around the anxiety as well is to accept it. Don't resist it. Say, okay, there's an issue here, there's a problem, there's something that I need to get over. Just see it as it is. Don't see it better than it is. Don't see it worse than it is. Just see it as an indication of maybe a direction or something that you can improve on in yourself to help you grow and to help you learn both, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We all have that innate need to grow. So don't resist the change that's happening. It's here for a reason, and the biggest changes in life come from times of stress. It can be a catalyst for change. So it's a sign that something better is coming along. So, pay attention to that. So you're on the right track. You've got your goals. It's good that you're still pursuing your goals, even despite you coming across this anxiety. It's just a bump in the road. It's a very long and windy road to get to where you want to be if you've got those big goals and dreams. So stay on that path. You're doing well if you're taking those steps towards it, and it's great that even despite that anxiety playing up, you're still taking those steps. You're still reaching out to people like myself. So that's a good thing. So John Adams said, patience and perseverance have a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. So patience and persistence, keep going. You're on the right track. Give yourself a bit of patience to get there. We live in this culture where we want everything straight away. Instant coffees, instant dates with those dating apps. You swipe right, somebody matches, you've got an instant date. You've got instant transport like Uber. We all live in this culture where it's drilled into us that if if you want something, go get it straight away. But with things like, building your dreams, going after those kinds of things, having that life of purpose, it takes time and patience, persistence, so don't let that set you back. Just stay on the path. So the last thing you don't want to do is circle the drain. So the worst thing, this is a term that I use for people who want to get somewhere really fast, and they start beating themselves up that they're not getting there fast enough, or why haven't they got it, or why do they keep running into difficulties and problems. But then the next step for them is just to beat themselves up about beating themselves up. So it's like they get into this downward cycle of just this negative self-talk. So that's circling the drain, and what you want to do is put the plug in, just put a stop to it. Realize that you realize, just become aware of these, you have these issues, and that's a good thing because growth is coming. And what you want to do is start to pump yourself up with those kind of negative or those positive affirmations. Pump yourself up with the right information, the right knowledge, keep trying different strategies to get you there, and switch that negative cycle into a positive cycle and start building up that momentum again. Start small and building up. So as I said, the path is a very long and windy road. So just stay true to your purpose. It's something that you're obviously passionate about. So that's a good thing. That's going to push you forward. I always say your goals need to be bright enough to shine through the darkness. So it needs to still give you that guidance even when times are tricky and obstacles come along. It's just like you becoming an author. Think about it like a stream. Don't resist those obstacles or those boulders in the way. Go around them, go over them. Just keep working your way down that stream and that river until you reach that ocean of abundance. So don't resist those things. Accept them, understand their points for growth. They're things that you can actually improve on to unlock more of yourself and your potential, and help you to reach that goal finally of becoming an author. So I hope that helps, and if anybody else has a question or an issue for me, please drop me an email to paragraphsmax, and I will get back to you either via an email or via a video response like this.